everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that sounds a little dry, but is absolutely essential for every worker and every business: the difference between exempt and non-exempt employees. In a progressive HR culture, transparency and fairness are non-negotiable. Understanding this distinction isn't just about following the law, it's about making sure everyone is compensated correctly and that we're protecting against burnout through proper pay practices. At the heart of this distinction is a critical piece of U.S. law, the Fair Labor Standards Act, or FLSA. This law sets the baseline for minimum wage, record keeping, and, most importantly for today's topic, overtime pay. Think of it this way. Non-exempt employees are covered by the FLSA's overtime rules. That means they are not exempt from receiving overtime pay. Exempt employees are not covered by the FLSA's overtime rules. They are exempt from receiving overtime pay. Simple enough, right? But the devil is in the details of how a company decides who falls into which category. It's not based on your job title, it's based on your duties, salary, and method of pay. Let's start with non-exempt employees. If you are non-exempt, you have some serious protections under the law. Number 1, overtime pay is mandatory. You must be paid at least 1.5 times your regular rate of pay for any hours worked over 40 in a work week. If you work 45 hours, those extra 5 hours get the overtime multiplier. This is the law, and there are no exceptions for a busy deadline or a late-night project. Number 2, hourly or salaried. The majority of non-exempt employees are paid an hourly wage. But here's a crucial point. You can be non-exempt and paid a salary. If you are a salaried, non-exempt employee, your pay must still be tracked hourly, and you must still receive overtime for any hours over 40. This is common for certain administrative, technical, or creative roles that don't meet the duty tests for exemption, which we'll discuss next. Number 3, time tracking is required. Companies are legally required to track every hour a non-exempt employee works. This is about accountability and ensuring you get paid for every minute you dedicate to the job. In a progressive culture, non-exempt status is a sign that the company respects your time. It means we want you to be efficient within your 40 hours, and if you must work more, you are compensated premiumly for the effort. Now, let's look at exempt employees. Generally, exempt employees are paid a fixed salary regardless of how many hours they work, and they do not receive overtime pay. To qualify as exempt, an employee generally has to satisfy 3 main tests established by the FLSA, and HR needs to be diligent about applying these. First, the salary basis test. You must be paid on a salary basis, meaning your pay is a fixed amount that doesn't change based on the quantity or quality of your work. Furthermore, this salary must meet a minimum threshold, which varies by state. Companies committed to equity often pay well above these minimums. Second, the salary level test. This is the specific dollar amount that must be met. If you are paid less than the federal minimum, you are automatically non-exempt, no matter what your job duties are. Third, the duties test. This is the most complex part. Your primary job duties must fit into one of the recognized exemption categories. The 3 most common are 1, executive exemption, primarily managing the enterprise or a recognized department, customarily and regularly directing the work of 2 or more other full-time employees, and having the authority to hire or fire, or whose suggestions on this matter carry significant weight. Think senior managers or department heads. 2, administrative exemption. Performing office or non-manual work directly related to the management or general business operations of the employer or the employer's customers. Crucially, this requires the exercise of discretion and independent judgment with respect to matters of significance. This is not simply routine clerical work. And 3, professional exemption. This covers 2 types. The learned professional requires advanced knowledge, usually a professional degree, in a field like law, medicine, theology, or teaching. The creative professional involves work requiring invention, imagination, originality, or talent in a recognized artistic field like a graphic designer or a musician. Misclassifying an employee is one of the biggest risks an organization faces, and it is a major ethical failure. It's often called wage theft. When an employee is incorrectly labeled as exempt and is therefore denied overtime pay they were legally entitled to, the company is violating the FLSA. Penalties can be severe, involving back pay for all missed overtime, liquidated damages, and significant legal fees. In a progressive HR environment, we are obsessed with compliance. We don't try to force non-exempt employees into the exempt box just to save money on overtime. We conduct regular audits, review job descriptions honestly, and err on the side of caution. If there's any doubt, the best practice is to classify the employee as non-exempt. It protects the employee's financial security and the company's integrity. Beyond the legal definitions, this conversation is about well-being. For non-exempt employees, clear time tracking and mandated overtime pay prevent exploitation. It's a tool for HR to monitor unreasonable workloads. If a non-exempt employee is routinely hitting 50 hours a week, that's a red flag that management needs to hire more people or adjust goals. For exempt employees, while there's no overtime pay, a progressive company still has a duty to monitor work-life balance. Being exempt isn't a license for a 24/7 work schedule. It implies a higher level of autonomy and responsibility. And a good company ensures that the fixed salary is fair compensation for a reasonable workload, not just unlimited availability. So, to summarize the critical takeaways, exempt means you are exempt from FLSA overtime rules because you meet the salary and duties tests. Non-exempt means you are protected by FLSA overtime rules and must be paid 1.5 times your rate for over 40. Job title is meaningless. Classification is based on duties, salary, and method of pay. Misclassifying an employee is a serious legal and ethical violation. When in doubt, lean toward non-exempt. Understanding this is your power, whether you're negotiating a job offer or managing a team. A transparent workplace is a strong workplace. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into building a modern, ethical, and thriving workplace. What other HR topics should we tackle next? Let us know in the comments below.